When people think of Alcatraz, they imagine cold cells, brutal discipline, and hopeless prisoners staring out at the San Francisco skyline. But one surprising truth about The Rock is this: Alcatraz serves some of the best prison food in America. In fact, meals at Alcatraz were so good that prisoners elsewhere complained they were being treated unfairly. The philosophy was simple: well-fed inmates were less likely to riot, fight guards, or attempt escape. Food was considered a tool of control, and Alcatraz officials used it wisely. Unlike other prisons where meals were barely edible, Alcatraz inmates ate hearty, filling, and often delicious food prepared by professional cooks. Breakfast alone was impressive. Prisoners regularly started their day with hot oatmeal, fresh bread, eggs, and coffee. Pancakes with syrup were not uncommon, and milk was served daily. Compared to the watery gruel found in many 1932 prisons, Alcatraz breakfasts felt almost luxurious. Lunches were equally substantial. Inmates were served soups made from scratch, baked beans, potatoes, and generous portions of meat. Beef stew, pork chops, and liver with onions were standard menu items. Fresh vegetables like carrots, cabbage, and lettuce appeared often, something unheard of in most prisons of the era. Dinner was the most important meal of the day. Roast beef with gravy, mashed potatoes, and bread rolls were common. On certain days, prisoners enjoyed spaghetti with meat sauce, chili con carne, or baked fish. Desserts such as fruit, cookies, or simple cakes were served regularly, reinforcing Alcatraz's reputation for exceptional prison food. One of the most shocking details is that inmates could eat as much as they wanted. Second helpings were allowed, and refusing food was considered a serious offense. The prison believed hunger led to violence, and Alcatraz was determined to avoid chaos at all costs. Bread was baked fresh daily, and coffee was unlimited. Inmates often recalled that coffee breaks were one of the few comforts of daily life. Compared to the strict silence and isolation of the prison, mealtime was a rare moment of calm and human routine. Sunday meals were especially memorable. Roast chicken, potatoes, vegetables, and dessert made Sundays feel almost normal. Some former inmates later admitted that the food at Alcatraz was better than what they ate growing up during the Great Depression. Despite the harsh conditions, the kitchen was one place where the prison excelled. Food quality was tightly regulated, ingredients were fresh, and meals followed a strict nutritional plan. Alcatraz officials believed that denying good food would only fuel rebellion, and history proved them right. Alcatraz experienced fewer food-related riots than almost any other prison in America. Ironically, some prisoners later joked that the worst part of leaving Alcatraz was losing the food. While freedom was priceless, many admitted they had never eaten better meals anywhere else in prison life. This was not kindness, it was strategy. Good food kept prisoners compliant, predictable, and calm. And on a cold island surrounded by freezing water and strict discipline, a hot, satisfying meal was sometimes the only comfort inmates had. Alcatraz prison was designed to break the spirit of America's most dangerous criminals. Yet one thing inside its cold concrete walls consistently surprised inmates: the food. While the cells were small and the rules were strict, meals at Alcatraz were filling, nutritious, and surprisingly delicious. Prison officials believed that good food prevented violence, and the menus reflected that philosophy every single day. Inmates at Alcatraz ate 3 structured meals daily, all prepared by trained cooks using quality ingredients. Breakfast often included eggs cooked in various styles, hot cereal, toast with butter, and coffee. Unlike other prisons where coffee was watered down, Alcatraz served strong, freshly brewed coffee unlimited. Milk was also served regularly, ensuring inmates received proper nutrition. Lunch meals were hearty and practical. Thick soups made from beef or vegetables were common. Inmates ate baked beans, potatoes, and generous portions of meat such as beef roasts or pork. Liver and onions, a nutritious and inexpensive dish, appeared often. Fresh bread accompanied nearly every meal, baked daily inside the prison kitchen. Dinner was the most anticipated meal. Roast beef with gravy, mashed potatoes, and vegetables was a staple. Fish dishes like baked cod or salmon were served regularly, especially on Fridays. Spaghetti with meat sauce was another favorite, offering a familiar comfort food that many inmates associated with life outside prison walls. Vegetables were never an afterthought. Prisoners received cabbage, carrots, peas, spinach, and lettuce, helping maintain health and morale. Fruits such as apples, oranges, and pears were common, and desserts were served several times a week. Simple cakes, cookies, and fruit pies added sweetness to an otherwise rigid life. One of the most unusual aspects of Alcatraz dining was portion size. Prisoners were allowed second helpings, and food waste was strictly monitored. Any inmate who complained about food or refused to eat faced punishment, not because the food was bad, but because it was considered disrespectful to waste resources. Here are 25 foods inmates actually ate at Alcatraz prison. 1. Roast beef with gravy. 2. Mashed potatoes. 3. Fresh baked bread. 4. Scrambled eggs. 5. Fried eggs. 6. Oatmeal. 7. Pancakes with syrup. 8. Bacon. 9. Baked beans. 10. Beef stew. 11. Liver and onions. 12. Spaghetti with meat sauce. 13. Baked fish. 14. Salmon. 15. Pork chops. 16. Vegetable soup. 17. Cabbage. 18. Carrots. 19. Peas. 20. Apples. 21. Oranges. 22. Pears. 23. Cake. 24. Cookies. 25. Coffee. Sundays were special. Roast chicken or turkey with stuffing, potatoes, and dessert made the day feel almost normal. Some inmates later admitted they looked forward to Sundays simply because the meals felt like something a family might eat together. The kitchen was run with military precision. Menus were planned weeks in advance, ingredients were carefully stored, and cleanliness was strictly enforced. Food was one of the few comforts inmates could rely on, and the prison made sure it was never used as punishment. While Alcatraz is remembered for its isolation and harsh discipline, its food tells a different story, one of calculated care. Good meals kept inmates calm, healthy, and less likely to cause trouble. On an island designed to crush rebellion, food became an unlikely source of stability. Alcatraz was built to house inmates considered too dangerous for ordinary prisons. Isolation, silence, and strict discipline defined daily life on the rock. Yet behind the steel bars and concrete walls, one thing consistently defied expectations: the food. Many former inmates later admitted that Alcatraz meals were the best they ever received in prison. The prison administration believed hunger bred violence. If inmates were fed well, they would be easier to control. As a result, Alcatraz's kitchen operated like a high-quality institutional cafeteria rather than a punishment system. Meals were balanced, filling, and carefully prepared using fresh ingredients. Breakfast was served early and never skipped. Inmates ate oatmeal cooked thick and hot, fresh bread with butter, eggs, and coffee. Pancakes appeared regularly, sometimes served with syrup. Milk was a standard part of breakfast, providing essential nutrients. For prisoners used to poor diets during the Great Depression, this alone felt shocking. Lunch focused on warmth and energy. Soups were common. Vegetable soup, beef soup, and bean soup were cooked daily. Inmates received baked beans, potatoes, and vegetables, along with meat dishes such as pork or beef. Fresh bread was served with nearly every meal, baked inside the prison itself. Dinner was the highlight of the day. Roast beef with gravy, mashed potatoes, and vegetables were standard fare. Fish dishes such as baked cod or salmon were frequently served, especially on Fridays. Spaghetti with meat sauce offered comfort and familiarity, especially for inmates from Italian backgrounds. Desserts were not rare. Fruit was served regularly, and baked goods such as cookies and simple cakes appeared several times a week. Sunday meals were especially generous, often including roast chicken or turkey with stuffing and dessert. Many inmates later said Sundays felt almost normal because of the food. Here are 25 foods regularly served at Alcatraz prison. 1. Oatmeal. 2. Fresh baked bread. 3. Butter. 4. Scrambled eggs. 5. Pancakes. 6. Syrup. 7. Bacon. 8. Coffee. 9. Milk. 10. Vegetable soup. 11. Beef soup. 12. Baked beans. 13. Potatoes. 14. Roast beef. 15. Gravy. 16. Mashed potatoes. 17. Pork chops. 18. Baked fish. 19. Salmon. 20. Spaghetti with meat sauce. 21. Cabbage. 22. Carrots. 23. Apples. 24. Cake. 25. Cookies. One of the strictest rules at Alcatraz involved food waste. Any inmate who wasted food or complained unnecessarily could be punished. This rule ensured meals were respected and consumed fully. The kitchen staff kept detailed records of consumption, and menus were adjusted to prevent waste. Former inmates later said that food became something they looked forward to. In a place where almost everything was taken away, freedom, privacy, comfort meals provided routine and stability. Sitting together, eating hot food, even in silence, gave structure to an otherwise bleak existence. The quality of food at Alcatraz was not kindness, it was control. Well-fed inmates were calmer, healthier, and less likely to cause disturbances. In this way, food became one of the prison's most effective management tools. Alcatraz may be remembered for its escape attempts and legendary inmates, but its food tells a quieter story, one of discipline maintained not through hunger, but through full stomachs and predictable routines. Alcatraz prison was meant to be a place of punishment, isolation, and absolute control. Surrounded by freezing waters and strong currents, escape was nearly impossible. Inside, silence ruled the cell blocks, yet every day, something unexpected cut through the harshness of prison life: a hot, well-prepared meal. Unlike other prisons of the era, Alcatraz refused to use hunger as a weapon. Officials believed that starving inmates would only lead to aggression, riots, and desperation. Instead, food became a stabilizing force. Meals were structured, nutritious, and served consistently, giving inmates a sense of routine in an otherwise rigid environment. Breakfast set the tone for the day. Inmates woke early to the smell of fresh bread and hot cereal. Oatmeal was thick and filling, served with milk. Eggs were common, prepared scrambled or fried. Pancakes with syrup appeared regularly, and coffee was unlimited, strong, hot, and deeply appreciated. For many inmates who grew up poor during the Great Depression, this was better than what they ate on the outside. Lunch was designed to keep energy levels steady. Large pots of soup simmered daily, filled with vegetables, beans, and meat. Potatoes appeared in many forms: boiled, mashed, or baked. Baked beans were a frequent side dish, providing protein and warmth. Pork chops, beef dishes, and liver with onions were served regularly, offering variety and nutrition. Dinner was the most satisfying meal of the day. Roast beef with gravy, mashed potatoes, and vegetables was a staple. Fish dishes like baked cod or salmon were served often, especially on Fridays. Spaghetti with meat sauce was another common dish, offering comfort and familiarity. Bread rolls were always available, and second helpings were allowed. Desserts were simple but consistent. Fruits such as apples, oranges, and pears appeared regularly. Cakes, cookies, and occasional pies added a sense of normalcy. Sundays were special. Roast chicken or turkey with stuffing and dessert made the day stand out. Some inmates later admitted they marked time by meals rather than by days. Here are 25 foods inmates commonly ate at Alcatraz prison. 1. Oatmeal. 2. Milk. 3. Fresh baked bread. 4. Butter. 5. Scrambled eggs. 6. Fried eggs. 7. Pancakes. 8. Syrup. 9. Bacon. 10. Coffee. 11. Vegetable soup. 12. Beef soup. 13. Baked beans. 14. Potatoes. 15. Roast beef. 16. Gravy. 17. Mashed potatoes. 18. Pork chops. 19. Liver and onions. 20. Baked fish. 21. Salmon. 22. Spaghetti with meat sauce. 23. Cabbage. 24. Apples. 25. Cake. Strict rules surrounded meals. Silence was enforced, and food waste was not tolerated. Any inmate who refused food without medical reason could face punishment. The administration saw wasted food as a threat to order and discipline. Former prisoners often said that meals were the only predictable comfort they had. In a place designed to strip away individuality, food reminded them of ordinary life: family dinners, Sunday meals, and warmth beyond the prison walls. Alcatraz's food system was not an act of mercy. It was a calculated strategy. By feeding inmates well, the prison maintained control, reduced violence, and preserved order. On an island built to contain the most dangerous criminals, food quietly became one of the most powerful tools of authority. Alcatraz prison has long been remembered as one of the most feared institutions in American history. Cold cells, strict silence, and total isolation define life on the rock. Yet among former inmates, one surprising memory stands out again and again: the food. Against all expectations, meals at Alcatraz were not only edible, but often delicious. Prison officials understood something most institutions ignored: hunger creates chaos. If inmates were fed poorly, frustration would boil over into violence. So Alcatraz adopted a radical approach for its time: feed prisoners well, and they will remain calm. This philosophy shaped every meal served inside the prison. Breakfasts were warm and filling. Thick oatmeal, fresh bread with butter, eggs cooked multiple ways, and unlimited coffee started each day. Milk was served regularly, ensuring proper nutrition. Pancakes with syrup were common, something almost unheard of in other prisons during the Great Depression. Lunch focused on substance. Large pots of soup simmered daily: vegetable, beef, or bean-based. Baked beans, potatoes, and fresh vegetables appeared frequently. Meat was not a rare treat. Pork chops, liver with onions, and beef dishes were standard menu items. Fresh bread was baked on site and served with nearly every meal. Dinner was the highlight of prison life. Roast beef with gravy, mashed potatoes, and vegetables was a staple. Fish dishes such as baked cod or salmon were served regularly, especially on Fridays. Spaghetti with meat sauce offered comfort and familiarity, reminding many inmates of home-cooked meals from their past lives. Desserts were modest but consistent. Fruits such as apples, oranges, and pears appeared often. Cakes and cookies were served several times a week. Sundays were special: roast chicken or turkey with stuffing and dessert made the day feel different from the rest. Here are 25 foods commonly served at Alcatraz prison. 1. Oatmeal. 2. Milk. 3. Fresh baked bread. 4. Butter. 5. Scrambled eggs. 6. Fried eggs. 7. Pancakes. 8. Syrup. 9. Bacon. 10. Coffee. 11. Vegetable soup. 12. Beef soup. 13. Baked beans. 14. Potatoes. 15. Roast beef. 16. Gravy. 17. Mashed potatoes. 18. Pork chops. 19. Liver and onions. 20. Baked fish. 21. Salmon. 22. Spaghetti with meat sauce. 23. Cabbage. 24. Apples. 25. Cake. One strict rule governed every meal. No food could be wasted. Refusing food or complaining without cause was punishable. The administration believed meals were a privilege, not a right. Silence was enforced, and meals were eaten efficiently and respectfully. Many former inmates later admitted something shocking: they ate better at Alcatraz than they ever had before or after prison. During an era when many Americans struggled to afford food, Alcatraz inmates received balanced meals every day. This was not compassion, it was control. Food became a psychological tool, calming men who were otherwise deprived of everything else. In a prison designed to remove freedom completely, meals became the only predictable comfort. Alcatraz may be remembered for escape attempts and infamous criminals, but its food reveals a deeper truth. Sometimes, the most powerful way to control people is not through cruelty, but through consistency. On an island built to crush rebellion, full stomachs kept order.